Genius for life. Coconut smoothies coming at you.
Hello, welcome to 15 Minutes of Genius. I am your humble host, Alex Baer, CEO and founder of Genius Juice. We bring on amazing entrepreneurs. We bring on investors, whether they're in for seed round, whether they're Series A, Series B, Series C, all the way down the alphabet. And that is the gentleman we brought on that we're bringing on today. He is with a prominent VC firm that's based in LA. So very excited to have him on. Before introducing him, big plug to Mark Nicholas, Mark N at ManhattanBeachStudios.net for all your editing desires. Mark, you know, post the words on the bottom, or is that later? Just want to make sure you're represented here. So there it is. I'm going to move everything out of the way so you can see it. Here it is. The words are actually on the table right now. This is not a digital effect. I can grab them. No. So, oh, they disappeared. So again, reach out to Mark N at ManhattanBeachStudios.net. Yeah, our guest, without a further ado, looking up his LinkedIn profile. I don't even print paper anymore, man. It's all by LinkedIn. So Jordan Weitz, he is an associate at Monogram Capital Partners. So what is Monogram? Monogram, for those that haven't heard, which is most people have heard, they are based in LA. Monogram Capital Partners was founded in 2014, and Jordan really helps working with different retail companies, consumer brands, become larger category leaders. So Jordan, how's it going, my man?
It's going super well. How are you, Alex?
Doing really good, really good. I think every single taping session, we have about 4 or 5 in a row. So I think at some point I start like bumbling through intros. So anyway, that's why I literally have Genius Juice here. I have chocolate bars here to get me through to make sure I have enough energy. So, but anyway.
What kind of chocolate bars you got over there?
So
best question of the night.
I have Honey Mamas. So they got the investment from Amberstone. I also have Elemental Bar as well. Got this at Mother's Market, which is right near the studio here in Manhattan Beach. But yeah, big shout out to those 2 brands. And because of Jordan even asking, they just got a free plug. So they should be sending you something, at least free product or something like that. So anyway, let's get into about you and about Monogram. Very well known. You've done some major investments. You joined them a little under a year ago. But tell us more about you, what drove you to get into this space, CPG, how it all started, and I guess, why you joined Monogram, and we'll take it from there.
Sounds perfect. So I guess my story really starts when I was 18. I was diagnosed with celiac disease. So I started to I had to basically figure out what was gluten-free, what was not gluten-free. I didn't really feel super well after immediately going gluten-free. So kind of went on this path to avoid soy, cut out dairy, and I really just became obsessed with trying to find stuff that tasted just as good as stuff that I previously never had to worry about eating. So ended up, as crazy as my friends and family think I would oftentimes go to the grocery store in my free time, put in headphones, listen to music, and just walk the aisles and flip over ingredient labels and just figure stuff out. Through that, tried a bunch of different products and just became really obsessed with the category. So while at school, I was part of the larger food and beverage community, worked on the operations side for a few brands that were in incubation mode. And I guess fast forwarding to the spring of 2020 now, I think it was, I cold emailed Kiva Dickinson over at Selva Ventures.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure if some people watching this have heard of them. Shout out to Midday Squares as well. Love that brand. But anyways, yeah, so I cold emailed Kiva and was like, hey, listen to you on a podcast. Here are the few things that I really like that you said and would be super honored to get on the phone with you and chat. Long story short, we hopped on the phone, totally hit it off, stayed in touch for an extra, 4 or 5 months, and then ended up convincing him to let me join as a intern for his investment team and just ran ship with him for a couple months before starting my full-time job. So really was fantastic learning experience working under him on the VC side of things. And yeah, I guess I'll kind of pause there. I can jump into the no-brainer foods role or a little bit more so about Monogram, but we'll kind of pause there to see if there's any other questions.
Thank you, man. Most people, some people, I'd say half the people never pause. They like to continue talking. So that shows some really good self-awareness. That you're just like, okay, I said my piece. I'm going to see if there's any questions. I like this flow. It's great. It's great.
Love it.
So
Let's keep it
yeah,
up.
and yeah, for sure, man. And like midday squares, I think has been mentioned 3 times. Like I've done 3 interviews. Almost in every interview, they've been mentioned either by me or the person I'm interviewing. It seems like they're one step closer to taking over the bar world. And the only reason I don't have them here, I have a midday square every day, because they launched in Sprouts nationally. And the only reason I don't have them here is because I finished all of them. So I need to
Yep.
go back out and buy more. And I always text, Jake whenever it's out. Then I show a picture where I have the whole box in my hand of like 12 of them. I'm like, dude, I'm clearing it out, man. You got to get on the stores to order more. So, yeah,
There,
yeah,
I was just gonna say, speaking of their Sprouts launch, that Instagram video
yeah,
was all time. I mean, it's really, I mean, it's crazy because I'm now texting people almost every single day with their content. Like, did you see what these guys did? Holy cow! Like, this is the craziest thing ever. But it's getting people to notice it. And I always talk
totally.
about marketing more generally as obviously the best way to get people to understand who your brand is and then understand the people behind the brand. But I mean, their form of word of mouth marketing has just been, I mean, I haven't seen another brand do things that they're doing, and it's awesome. And Jake is just the man. I mean, he's such high energy. I want to text him just because I think it's fun to see what he's going to respond next. But anyways, I thought when I first asked you what chocolate bars you were going to be sitting next to, that Midday Squares would be there. So it's great to hear that you're friendly with the brand and love it as well.
Yep, the peanut butter and the almond crunch. Those are the fudge one is good, but it has to be more for dessert. But I
Mhm.
love the almond crunch. I ordered, I think the record that I ate in one, I mean, maybe we should call this the Midday Squares show. But I ate 5 in one day because when I travel, I love eating them. They give me all this energy and they taste fantastic and low sugar. And, and yeah, Jake is full of energy. I've had him on this show. We have another show called Friday Vibes where I bring him on there, which is live on LinkedIn. So congrats, Jake. Big shout out to you, Leslie, and the rest of the team. Nick, right, the other co-founder, for all your success. You're obviously making waves. The Central Market video is also hilarious, where they make a deal in an airport
So
hangar.
funny. Yeah.
Have you seen that one?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
It's
I've recently turned on post notifications for them just because I don't want to be the person that receives a text from somebody else that says they just posted. I want to be the first one to fire out those messages. So love it.
Midday Squares, whatever you're doing, it's freaking working, and this is a huge example why we're dedicating half the show to talking about your videos. Let's get back to you, Jordan. So, yeah, no questions yet, but the no-brainer thing, board member there, we can talk a little bit about that, but I'm really interested to find out more about Monogram. And, Kiva, met him at Circle Up, then he started Selva. So many things to cover here, but let's focus on Monogram because you guys are emerging. You've done some major investments in brands like Koia and others. Tell us about your experience there. What are you guys all about? And there are brands that are on LinkedIn that are probably going to message you about investment, right? Because you're talking about it. So what kind of brands are you looking for? What stage of growth? What is the average check size? A lot of entrepreneurs that are tuning in probably curious about your investment ethos.
Yeah, so I guess first touching on the category, I think it's really everything and anything that touches the consumer, right? I mean, I think our portfolio is heavily concentrated on the beverage landscape. We are investors in beauty products, personal care products, in restaurant concepts, really all across the board. And I guess cutting to the chase around kind of the check size that we like to play at most frequently, it was probably coming in leading that Series A check size range. And it's funny now because everyone says seed, Series A, Series B, and they sometimes can almost be synonymous. So I would say our sweet spot would probably be talking to a brand that's maybe doing anywhere between 5 to 15 million in net sales. And the reason why that range is so wide is because completely dependent on where they are in stores today, kind of what their capital needs are at a certain time, how quickly they think they can ramp marketing spend. It really just depends. I would say we are probably one of the most flexible firms in terms of where we feel comfortable coming in. So it really is just timing dependent and product differentiation and really just market timing more generally. But in general, working with the Monogram team, I mean, I really haven't worked with smarter people in my entire life that truly care about the brands we're working with. And oftentimes we'll get on a call with a portfolio company and they're surprised that we want to sit down and just have a creative jam session about, okay, so we're thinking about launching this product. What's the best way to do that? Are there any like fun differentiated ways that you guys think we could be successful, instead of just going, okay, but what were sales last quarter? What are they going to be, and how can we improve margins? So I just love the dynamic at Monogram, and truly the nicest people in the world to work with.
Yeah, I think it's just an amazing opportunity. And then you're in New York, so you're actually in their offices in LA, so you're working kind of virtually. But those are really the things that I've heard about Monogram, is really, really hands-on with the brands, but also letting the brands run the company and to see through the vision of how they want to grow the company and offering resources. So really awesome. Are you guys in a fund 2, fund 3? Like what is your fund size, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, so we are in the middle of investing out of Fund 2 right now. We're going to be closing, I think, our second closing in a couple months or so, but we're ready to go. Super exciting time for Monogram, and to your point about being hands-on or kind of passive, kind of letting the founder run the ship. I mean, it's whenever someone needs something, they should feel comfortable coming to us and saying, "Hey, can you help out?" And we'll get sprinting on it. But otherwise, if you've got things going and you think you can do it yourself, keep running with it, right? So it's one of those situations. If you need us, we're here for you, and we'll be your best friend. But at the same time, if not, you got it going.
Love it. You're speaking the love language of a lot of brands that are looking for the right partners, and that's coming from the other side, which is a brand and finding the right partners, and all the other friends I have in this industry. It's finding the right smart money, the right money. Not all money is created equal, and finding great partners that understand you and your mission and how you want to grow, and they can help you alongside to make that happen together. And having the right partners, to me, is the difference between a very successful company and one that could crumble and not do well. And we've heard stories of that. Someone takes money from the wrong partner, there's not alignment, and suddenly the brand is going in the wrong direction instead of the right direction. So you can always tell on shelf who's found the right investors by how successful they are, right? And how much they're selling and their distribution. So, and their team also has to be really good. So really good stuff, man. Congrats on joining their team. I've been in touch, for 3 years now, or almost 3 years, with Ryan Collins. And so just all around great team.
Best.
Love you guys.
Yep.
It's like, love you guys. Love talking with you guys. And I love to continue the conversation. So let's get into our next segment, because we are running out of time. This is called Rapid Fire Questions.
Let's do it.
Rapid fire questions.
This is so awesome, by the way. I love the cadence. It's great.
It's been
I'm like fired up. It's like 9:30 on Eastern time hours, and I'm like ready to go. I'm like, all right, Ryan, what are we doing next? But anyways.
Exactly. Like, we literally are your freaking, your caffeine right here. No caffeine needed for this show. We're firing you up. There it is, the mocha. You got the mocha right next to you.
Always.
Hell yeah.
Always.
Love it. I could drink that anytime. I actually did a TikTok video with mocha. You got to watch it. It's like
I'm in. I'm ready.
It's TikTok at Genius Juice. I took over our TikTok account, which is very dangerous. But I'm like, who's weirder than me? Who's more quirky and energetic than me? So with Genius Juice. So I started putting out all these random ass videos on TikTok, and I did one with the mocha. So all I have to say is watch it. It's hilarious. All right. So thanks, my man, for supporting us and drinking it. All right. Here we go. Questions ahead. First one. NSYNC or Backstreet Boys?
Backstreet Boys. Absolutely.
First thing you do when you wake up?
Honestly, I'm really trying to fix it, but I always check my phone. I need to start charging it all the way across the room, but I check my phone immediately.
Yep, same way. Checking my phone, and also I do day trading for 20 minutes in the beginning of the day. Not day trading, but I have a stock portfolio. Nothing more dangerous than waking up and not even being fully awake and trading stocks. I don't recommend it.
Yep.
Movie you can watch an unlimited amount of times.
It's funny. I was just having a conversation about this with someone, but Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I've always had this dream of waking up in my room just being that world, which probably speaks to why I'm interested in food and beverage. But
Right.
every day and night, I can watch that movie.
I was thinking like Midday Squares. It's like you go to their facility. It's literally like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory there. They make their own chocolate. So
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for another brand to. No, I mean, should I mention Midday Squares again? Anyways, but
Absolutely.
I was always, I've always been thinking there's got to be a brand that can do something super creative with like the golden ticket situation. I haven't
Yep.
seen a brand do that in probably at least 4 or 5 years, but I think it could be super creative. It's probably in their pipeline.
It's probably already happening right now.
Yep.
They're 10 steps ahead, it seems. Song you can listen to an unlimited amount of times.
I can listen to the song called "Miss Me" by Drake. It's the one. I'm really bad with lyrics, but it is the one song that is 7 minutes long, and I know every single word to it somehow.
Wow, you got to do that in karaoke. That's impressive.
I will. When we have our conversation offline, Alex, I'll start the meeting for the first 7 minutes just saying the words very slowly to the song.
Love it. Favorite sport to watch?
Favorite sport to watch? Honestly, swimming.
Interesting. Have not gotten that
Kind of
answer yet.
a random answer. I mean, swimming for the shorter races. I just think it's so fun. Quick spurts of energy, and then people get out and you can see already who won.
Got it. Are you a swimmer?
I have never taken part on a swim team, and I can barely doggy paddle. So no.
Got it. Shows you that you could be really interested in a sport and not be good at it. So yeah,
Completely.
that's like me in every sport. I watch it and I'm terrible at it. Zoom, Microsoft Teams, or Google Meet?
I am a Zoom guy through and through. I think that maybe that's just because I've been using it for so long, but Zoom all the time.
Zoom is the best, and their stock is at a great price to buy right now. I think they're at 230, and yeah, it was at like almost 450 during the peak during the pandemic. So good time to buy.
Not investment advice though for those listening.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I have to have a disclaimer. Like, I am not a broker. I'm just a dude that trades on the toilet. All right, what is your spirit animal?
My spirit animal, probably a turtle.
Right on. Window seat or aisle seat on an airplane?
Aisle seat, because I typically will get up and walk around when I'm not supposed to, just to get things moving.
Love it. Peanut butter or like not supposed to. I love that part. Peanut butter or almond butter or neither?
I'm gonna get more specific and say super crunchy peanut butter.
Super crunchy. The Trader Joe's brand?
Honestly, I've never had the Trader Joe's brand. No, I've been a Jif guy.
Jif, got it. Omnivore, flexitarian, vegetarian, or vegan? Which one are you?
Flexitarian.
Cold
Basically
weather.
me trying to be more of a vegetarian, but calling myself a flexitarian.
There you go. Yeah, it's like a halfway point. So cold weather or hot weather?
Hot weather.
LeBron James or MJ?
MJ.
Ginger or turmeric?
Ooh, I like this one a lot. 1000% ginger.
Love it. And the last question, your favorite food or drink if you're stuck on a deserted island. You cannot say Genius Juice, you cannot say Midday Squares, and you cannot say any other portfolio brand that Monogram has invested in.
Got it. I am obsessed with ice cream. And recently I've been obsessed with David Greenfeld's Dream Pops.
Right.
The little mini bites. So
Yep.
I would say I'm bringing those to the island and hoping that they do not melt everywhere.
David, shout out to David. Reach out to Monogram. That's a calling. That's your
They
calling
taste super
card.
good.
Yep. Do you like the Dream the Pops or the Bites better?
I love the bites. I used to be a massive dibs person
Yep,
back in the day, and I remember those. And I'm like, okay, well, now that I'm a flexitarian, I have to introduce some plant-based foods, right? So
exactly.
eat the Dream Pops bites all day, every day.
They're amazing. It's one of the best innovations I've seen in the dessert category in a freaking long, long time. So, all
Totally.
right. So that is rapid fire questions with Jordan Weitz with Monogram Capital. There you go. All right. So thanks, my man, for joining us. Really good to meet you. I met like a lot of others on the Monogram team, have not met you. So awesome to finally get acquainted, make a connection. And yeah, man, episode 78, so thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to keep sharing your product and being your pro bono merchandiser across all of the Lower East Side of New York.
Definitely. Check is in the mail. All
Love
right.
it.
Thanks, Jordan. Take care, my friend.
Thank you.
All right. So that is episode 78, 15 minutes of genius. Again, make sure to tune in on Apple Podcast. You can also tune in on Spotify, on YouTube, and also on LinkedIn. We're getting, I think now record-breaking, we're getting 4,000 to 5,000 views per episode when posted on LinkedIn. I'm becoming a LinkedIn influencer, which is awesome. So big plug to Mark Nicholas, Mark N. I'm at howtomeetstudios.net. Move the paper so you can see it clearly. For all your editing desires, make sure to reach out to him. You can also host your own podcast, but you just have to be in Los Angeles or Orange County to come to the studio in Manhattan Beach. So again, episode 78 in the books. And one last thing, stay genius, my friends.
Genius for life. Coconut smoothies coming at you.